now.
Okay, well, we are broadcasting. How about that? I've got my.
What are you what are
We are
you pointing
broadcast.
what are you pointing at, Ellis? There's nothing on your screen.
My fingers,
Your fingers.
pins that I
Oh,
plan on
gotcha.
drawing with. Um, and I also have, in a moment's notice, I can talk about Sergeant. Oh, that's my
Uh
fault, probably.
oh. Wait, what happened?
We're,
What?
we're, get, we're getting feedback from not my having the YouTube open.
Oh, yeah, I need to mute mine.
Yeah.
Oh, mine went up. Okay, there we go.
Dave is presently muted.
Oh, he is?
You can mute yourself.
Oh, there
There
he
he is.
goes.
He turned himself
Okay.
back.
Am I better now?
Yes.
I'm trying to make some adjustments. What about
Okay.
now?
Okay.
Uh,
Any better?
Um,
What about now?
oh, that was a lot better.
Can you hear me good?
Pretty good. Better. Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Hey,
Timothy Best says it's Ellis.
that's right.
Ellis,
Hey.
who's not on screen.
Yeah. No, but the magic of
All right.
some sort of. Yeah, well, I can hear you now. So this is my pals, Scott Sackett, David Nelson,
Hello.
and they're from Better Than Fiction. Everybody that watches this knows Scott. And
Right.
Dave
Yeah,
has been here before, and we talk about pop culture when we get together, and usually they run things.
Well,
so go ahead, Scott.
Okay.
Tell us all
well,
about Better Than Fiction.
well. Normally, we're all in the same room when we're recording
Yeah,
Better Than Fiction. However, we are all, as a lot of us, the this virus has forced considerations for things. So this is kind of an experiment to see if we could do a live video podcast. Um, it will go out through the regular Better Than Fiction feed as an audio feed. So if you're catching this through Better Than Fiction, that's what's going on there. Uh,
unless
Scott, why don't you do? Hey, Scott, do an intro, and I'll use it. Do some
yeah. There we go.
oh, do an intro.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have Barris. We have God,
Murray
we have
Barris.
Burry Barris in the. We have Barry Burris in the chat.
There
He
he
says
is.
ground control to Major Tom, and he said Dave is looking a little pink. Okay, so what episode is it, Dave? Do you know?
This will be episode 318, I believe.
Okay, you're listening to Better Than Fiction, episode 318.
Wow.
Nobody wooed. You're supposed to woo. This is the special. We're fighting the coronavirus episode, specially presented live on Saturday night, and it will go out later as a rebroadcast. Tonight, I am Scott Sackett. I'm joined by my friend, my friend,
Ellis Goodson.
and my other, and my other friend, my other friend. My other friend DL Nelson, and we're joined. Oh, hey, Timothy gave us a woo, and we're
Yeah.
joined in chat. Who I think he's camera shy, by Barry Burris, and I am monitoring the chat, so he's a little behind because of the YouTube feed, but he is watching us. He says Dave is echoing. Well,
Yeah.
So sorry.
so I thought it would be good to get together and talk, and I kind of pitched the idea to the guys because anyone that is watching this relatively close to the time that this is being broadcast knows that a lot of people's lives have been changed for many ways. However, I think Ellis's life has not changed at all, has it, Ellis?
Not a bit. Not a bit. I'm just rolling right along. I went and bought a lotto ticket today.
Not a lot of
You talk about your maximum stupidity is to be playing lotto anyway, but then to go ahead and risk your life by
by buying a ticket.
buying a ticket is
Did you
kind of
watch?
height.
Did you wash your hands when you got it?
No. As a matter of fact, I picked my teeth after I got it. I had something in my teeth, so I.
By the
think
way,
it was,
Ellis is in several high risk groups.
yeah.
But we're recording this in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma currently, when I checked earlier, had 57 cases, I think, of coronavirus. There's one death, one person recovered, and so
Yeah, that death. There's a preacher that died, and he allegedly got it and died the next day. Now that bugs me. I don't trust that reporting.
well, I think he had
Well,
diabetes and a heart.
he's like diagnosed and then died the next day, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because it takes it's supposed to take 24 to 48 hours to get the results back, but that's a little backlog. It's more like 72 hours or even more. This
Well, yeah,
doesn't have to go from either Dallas or California, depending on who sends it, where they sent to.
DL is actually a guy that works in
Yeah.
kind of, he knows this stuff.
He keeps it on the down low, but
Yeah.
he has certainly more experience than either one of us.
Yeah.
So one of the challenges in my house has been, one is getting groceries, because I buy groceries for my household and my cousin, and so we had to go deal with that today, which we were able to do. And of course, anyone that knows, that's listening, knows that getting groceries has been challenging. There hadn't been anything too bad that I completely can't get, except for toilet paper. For some unknown reason,
Yeah.
there's been a run on toilet paper, which is strange. It makes no sense.
I wonder when this all these people that went through the trauma of not having toilet paper. Is that some sort of weird shared trauma that everyone remembers the time that they didn't have any toilet paper or something?
Yes, the great diarrhea epidemic of 1987. No one had toilet paper.
Dave, give us another sound check. Barry says he can't understand Dave at all. Well, maybe he's just saying that rhetorically or something.
Well, what about now? Is it any better?
Well, you're. Go ahead, Barry. Give us a feedback. I hear a pretty echoey guy. Echo.
Yeah, I do too. Mine always sounds weird because these are noise canceling headphones, so I feel like my head is underwater when I talk.
Yeah, they probably optimize things for you, and you've got no idea how you actually sound.
No, I don't.
Which is sad because you're the only one with the
face,
the radio voice. Yeah.
I don't know about that. That was worse.
What are you doing, Dave?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out this microphone.
That's all right. Just trying different pillows to talk through, or that's it. He's going through his miscellaneous masks. Virus.
Barry says still sounds bad.
Still bad. Sounds like he is Darth Vader talking into a toilet.
Do the best you can, Dave. Okay. These are difficult times. So
I tried.
Okay, that was pretty good.
So what'd you do today, Ellis?
I went for my walk in the park. I joined many people walking in the park. As a matter of fact, I was surprised what a mob there was.
Oh, people are dying to get outside. I think.
Yeah. There's a lot of cabin fever.
Yes.
And I worked on prepping a painting. I finished the painting yesterday. I've been doing oil painting. This is my Popeye versus Wolverine oil painting I just completed.
Make it full screen.
Okay. That requires me backing off to there.
Oh, yeah. I saw this online on your Tumblr. It looked really good.
Yeah. A flatbed skin would look better than this. But it's under a nice gloss of enamel. It looks really
that's really nice.
Is it full color or black and gray?
It's all black and white. That's what I'm working with to give myself the confidence that I can still paint. is that I'm working with black and white right now and just doing values.
Now,
And
that's the one you did the other day, right?
yeah, this is the
The
one I
dragon.
finished. This was my little stripper babe that is me
Oh my
trying to be
gosh,
a Glen Bar.
that looks
Kind of,
pretty nice. I like the Popeye thing.
yeah.
So what are you going to do with these when you're done?
Oh, I'll eventually try to sell them, I guess. You know,
I like the Popeye. The Popeye one's really nice.
I have to do something with
I
it.
mean, they all look good.
Yeah, but I'm excited because I had one where you may have seen it where it was a cop confronting a robot that was as big as a mountain. He was standing next to it on top of his motorcycle with a machine gun in his hand, and that one sat around on the easel for about 4 years. And I attacked it like about 5 times, and was never happy with it. And that sort of thing, you need to. That's when you supposedly are learning something and you land flat on your face, they make you get right up and do it again.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't what I was doing when it came to painting. Now I am. Now I'm just like, okay, I fell on my face on that one. But just keep at it.
Well, I like what you're doing. I think it looks good.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and it's the experiment here that's going on with these two, especially the Popeye, is that this was done completely digitally in terms of like getting all the sketch, getting all the tones, and doing a Photoshop painting, printing that on my laser printer, and then getting what is called acrylic medium all over this canvas panel, sticking it down on the canvas panel, and then later scraping it off with a wet sponge. It leaves the image exactly like it was printed, kind of. I mean, degraded. The image is right there. So basically, you've got something that you can transcribe. You can say, here we go. Let me mix up the paint for that little spot.
Did you have to flip it?
This is split from the original sketch.
Oh, okay. So you put
I
it on
didn't
there.
think about it before I did it, and I thought, well, you know what? I like that direction as well as the other direction.
Yeah, no, I think it works.
Which is supposedly a good sign of composition, that it looks as good flipped as it does the other way.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So you said you went to the store today, or was that yesterday?
Oh, I went to, what do you call those things? You've got one right by you, one stop, quick stop.
Walmart?
No, those big gas station.
Oh, like a
depot.
7-Eleven?
But bigger.
Oh, on Q.
On Q, there you
go. That's where you got the lotto tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. So you have not got groceries yet.
Oh, I didn't need to. I've got all the toilet paper I'll need, probably.
Maybe.
I probably have a lifetime supply, would be I imagine. And
he's got 3 rolls.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm happy with. Well, I make a little note every now and then and say I need aluminum foil. I'm not going to go to the store for aluminum foil. I mean, not right away anyway.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like, see, the way I shop is I try to stay ahead of running out of stuff. Right now, I'm thinking, let's wait 3 or 4 days and see if everything is getting calm again,
Yeah. So you don't go, like Michelle and I go like on Saturdays. Every Saturday we go to the grocery store.
Uh-huh. No, well, and I also hate to go on weekends. So
well, that makes sense. I don't have a choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, since this week, actually starting yesterday, Michelle is working from home.
Uh-huh.
And so she is not leaving the house. It was kind of weird today because in addition to our errands, we had to go to her office and pick up a few little computer bits that she didn't get home with. Nothing too critical, but like a cable for a second monitor, that sort of
Sure,
thing.
yeah.
And the reason why they're working from home is that her boss apparently has a compromised immune system. And so he's very, conscientious about all these people coming in. He's actually still working in the office, I believe. Now, he wasn't there today.
That big old spot. He kicks everybody else out and says, okay, now we're good.
Well, he owns it, so he can do it. But so we went up there and, we went in and washed our hands, and we were very careful about not touching anything too crazy, just in case, because we had been at Walmart a few hours earlier or an hour earlier. And so we just the last thing we want is to give something to him.
Yeah.
And, but we, there were a lot of people running downtown, like jogging. But there wasn't a lot. Well, but there wasn't a lot of people out. It was really strange. We drove the highway today, and there was hardly any cars. There was probably about a third of what there normally is out.
Yeah. There's an awful lot of saving going on right now. These people they talk about everything they're losing. Yeah, they're losing, but they're also not spending, which that can meet in the middle. You can get away if you'll not spend money. You can get away with not making it for a while if you aren't spending it.
Well, and I think that's the hope, is that everyone will kind of come out even on the end.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me any better now?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. We might have Barry have to give us how we're doing online, but that sounds a lot better.
Oh, Barry's given up on this a long time ago.
No, I think he's still watching. There's just 4 people watching.
Do you think this is a better sound is?
Yes.
The quality's better.
It's not echoey. You're still kind of in the background. You could be. Speak again, Dave, Barry said.
How about now? Now?
You're farther and farther away.
Okay, I want to try another one. Now.
That's worse. It's like an eye test.
Better or worse?
Oh, that was a lot better just then.
Better or worse?
Well, it's better in terms of like fidelity, but it's not good in terms of like sounding like you're in the same room with us.
What about now? Just
Now it's echoey.
Oh, but echoey. Okay. All right.
Oh, that was almost good.
Barry says we're better as long as we don't talk over each other. Yeah, you went into an echo there, but
all right.
we'll get it all nailed down.
Hey, I think this shows that it can't work.
No, it can work. We just got to get Dave's microphone sorted out. It'll be okay.
Yeah. This was what do you call that when you roll out a preliminary test on something?
Beta test.
Beta testing.
Barry says take turns talking.
Okay.
That's difficult.
Well, we could have it like the conch shell. I could say, okay. I could say, okay, Scott is now full screen. Let me see. I've forgotten how to do that. So a layout. Watch that. See that? Now let's talk. Go ahead, talk.
So if you're watching this, you're probably wondering what in the world what is all this around me? This is my pod chair that I'm sitting in. It's something I made. It's kind of a little art project. It's done on the inside. On the outside, I'm covering it with leaves. Kind of a fall pattern on the outside. I'm about half done. I think I'm going to run out of leaves though. I worked on it a little bit yesterday because I was off work. I mentioned that Michelle was working from home. I am working reduced hours because this has impacted my job quite a bit. But we still have business, so they don't want to shut down. And I've been taken off center stage. Ellis,
well, I was trying to control that. Sorry.
That's okay. Anyway, so I'm working 4 days a week now instead of 4.5. So on Fridays, In the past, I would go in and work for half a day, and I am not going in at all on Fridays. So I made the comment, and this may apply to some of our listeners. If your schedule's upended, typically I work. I have a schedule that I go in. I work. On Fridays I get off at noon. I come home. Saturdays we run errands. Sunday I go to church. All that is upended. I'm working 4 days a week. Church tomorrow will be on a video. Today we did some errands, but we got out really fast because we had to be careful about being around some people. And so I've lost track of days. I don't. Today feels like I don't know what kind of day.
Yeah,
Tomorrow's going to
yeah,
be weird too.
yeah. You guys that aren't used to every day being the same in terms of like, I'm really used to it. In fact, you get to where you're kind of annoyed by the idea that other people come out and bug you with traffic flow and all that. Oh, look at that! I kind of like that layout. It's kind of a nice equal way to do it. Let's see what that looks like on YouTube. I like that better. There we go. And it's one of those things. I think we're all getting used to it. We haven't had a kick in the teeth like this since 9/11, when all of a sudden everyone said, well, we just have to shut down the airlines, and that sort of big disruption just hasn't taken place, but it has, to the extent that is a recent enough memory. That's only been a couple of decades ago, and that happened, and we got through it, and it did cost us a few $1 trillion in terms of like impact. But when you think about it, it's like the frog being brought to a boil. It happens at such a gradual turn that we may be hurting, but there's no point in complaining about it. So it'll quit hurting when it quits.
Yeah.
I've got my Sergeant Rock here. I've been reading my way through that. I was surprised early on. I thought everything Sergeant Rock was Joe Kubert, and I realized when I was a kid I actually entered the series much later than what is going to be here in Volume 1. As a matter of fact, it was kind of annoying. I said, "Where's my favorite story?" And I looked for it, and it's not even there. It's like he really had a handle on the characters by the time I started reading them. In fact, when I read this, basically an origin story of Sergeant Rock, I said, "You mean Sergeant Rock was a guy that's brains were totally beat in as a boxer that never really won one, but you couldn't knock him down?" That doesn't sound like much of a hero. I mean, it's awesome that he's got that characteristic that he that he just doesn't go down. He's that tough. But then I ran across this one. It was called Hold Up Easy. And this worked. It just stopped me all of a sudden. I said, because it didn't have the credits showing, but of course they have them at the front of the book. And I thought, man, who's this? This I would have bought, even as much as I like Kubert, I would have bought a book's worth of this. And then I went to the front for the credit. It's Mort Drucker.
Oh, wow.
So it kind of gives it away if I'd been looking real closely. See this guy right here? See the way he does that lip? That extra bit of volume notion about how to handle a face with that lip, the way it folds in space and everything.
Yeah.
But this stuff is so good. And of course, I'm just on this Kubert trip right now that I just dig it. It's teaching me. I was trying to minimize hatching, and now I'm back into thinking like Kubert shows how much license there is to hatch, and plus he is almost on a level of Mignola in terms of like economy of what he does put down. if it doesn't belong, it's not on the page, basically. It's,
Kubert is interesting. Kubert is interesting because it's interesting you contrast him with Mignola, because Mignola and him are probably as far apart in terms of style.
Yeah, stylistically.
But in economy, they're very close to each other, I think.
Yes. I mean, the whole point is like in a screenplay, you always run across these guys that think, okay, now I know this subject, so I'll have one of my characters just give you a big earful about this subject. You know, whether it's like being deadly with knives or something like that. And it's like, wait a moment, I'm just about to fall asleep. Let's go back to telling me a story. I don't want to hear somebody telling me a bunch of information, you know. Unless, you know, they pay off later and some sort of special knowledge about knives or something comes out. Oh, you know, speaking of knives, maybe that's why I brought it up. I saw Knives Out last night. Have you seen that?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Very good. And like I say, the biggest compliment you can pay to a movie is like, it's comparatively long. I mean, it's 2 hours plus. Felt like about an hour movie. It was. It was real good. So yeah. Even though I say that, and I thought to myself when I started watching it, says, am I going to get into this? so it chugs for just a second, and then all of a sudden you're into it.
I watched a movie last night called, it's an old movie, it's a Giallo movie called The Case of the Blood Orchid, I think it was. Have you seen that, Ellis?
I have not. Is it any good? I always like my Giallo.
It's on Prime, so you can watch it for free. It's a typical, there's a guy that a woman is murdered, and there's another woman that is kind of being stalked by the typical Giallo guy that with the hat and the mask.
Yeah.
And
did this have another title by any chance?
It did, but I don't know what it was. But if you look on
I have seen it, and I think of it with the other title.
Probably that may be. I know it has another title because I looked it up on Amazon. Or on Google. But I mean, it was good, but it was it's a Giallo movie, so it's nothing spectacular.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's not family fare. When someone cuts a throat and you get arterial spray all across an art display or something like that. Yeah.
The first girl that died was in an elevator, and she gets there's a group of people on an elevator, and they're going up, and as they go up, people get off. People keep getting off until it's her and this other guy, and you never see the other guy, and then all of a sudden you kind of see the knife go into her stomach and then go into her stomach again, and then she falls backwards and he slashes her throat, and I mean it's violent, and it's
but it's stylized where it doesn't.
It's very stylized, The blood was very paint looking.
And Giallo means yellow, right?
Yes, there's a great documentary on Amazon about Giallo.
That's what I want to watch, probably more than a Giallo film at the moment. I love those documentaries.
It's called All the Colors of Giallo. Which, it's pretty good. The documentary is good. I'd seen the documentary a little bit over a while back. That's what prompted me to start looking for some. I kind of wrote down some of the movies, and so last night I watched that one. It was interesting.
Well, speaking of very, very recommended that podcast, The Movies That Made Me, which I've heard a couple of them, and he recommended the one guy, Thomas Jane from The Mist, who I guess has a little, I don't guess he's French or anything, but he's crazy about French gangster films. And I of course, I'm familiar with a few of them, but man, they had a long list. And of course, Joe Dante had seen every one of them. But It's a whole another subgenre of like all the John Paul Belmondos, and of course, I'm a big fan of Eddie Constantine. I got from Sinister Cinema. That's where you used to go to for your obscure cinema back in the day. And I got a bunch of mail order of Eddie Constantine's character, Lemmy Caution.
Oh yeah.
Not the ones. Basically, he's reprising a role that he perfected as Lemmy Caution way back in the day when he was a younger man. So that director is taking Alphaville and saying, "Here's our good friend Lemmy back again." You know.
Okay, so Barry had a few comments. Barry said that it's also called Seven Bloodstained Orchids, not to be confused with the Stained Butterfly. I think that's a question. I think he thinks it may be the same film. His question mark.
Maybe. Yeah, he's got question marks.
He says the Thomas Jane episode is brilliant. Starts off like a stoner, then ends up like a college thesis.
Yeah. No, that Jane knows his movies. He knows those movies especially. He's crazy about them, which I can see why an actor would be, because those guys had it down in terms of like, hey, what did you cough? I'm kidding.
Yeah, it was me. It was a dry cough.
But those guys that were playing cool, of course, what they were doing, they're trying to channel some of the coolness they were seeing coming in American films. But like everything, it's like the Japanese seeing Western movies, what they do and what they turn into a hybrid of what they saw in Western movies. All of a sudden becomes a new thing, and it's a new cool thing.
Yeah. Barry also says check out the Stephen Bissett episode of Movies That Made Me.
Yeah, well that would be good. Well, that'd be interesting. Does Dante know his comic books? Is he a comic book guy? I don't know that. I don't think he would be. Maybe he is.
I don't know.
He's one of these guys that I think he had one of those weird isolated lives that were based on some sort of health problem. No, that's Scorsese. I think had polio or something.
Oh, Barry said yes. They talk comics. So apparently
really?
Joe Dante was a comic fan.
How about that?
Didn't he do? What was?
He did Small Soldiers.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. That he did kind of a comic-y movie.
Yeah, he's never.
But he's never done a superhero movie, has he?
No, not that I know of. He's done science fiction now. Obviously, Inner Vision or whatever that's called.
Inner Space.
Inner
Space. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dante is underused, but I think the deal is with Dante and any of these guys that are real talented, to where you wonder why they don't make a movie a year. It's because it's dang hard work, and the hardest work of all is to get everybody to agree that it's time to make a movie. And it's hard work. As big a deal as Fury Road was.
Oh, Barry wants to see a wide shot of the chair. I'm gonna step out of the chair for a second. Uh-oh. I think I muted myself.
No, you didn't. I can hear you.
Hang on just a second.
I can hear you. Well, you may have deafened yourself, but you didn't mute yourself.
Oh, there you go. I'm back.
Okay.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You were never gone.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you guys.
Well, you can't hear me. Hey, Barry, tell him we can hear him.
Okay, I'm back now.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm gonna flip this.
I think we've lost Dave. Dave, are you there?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. We'll let you talk then.
I'm just kind of hanging out.
Oh, me?
Okay. Let's have a look at it, Scott. Here, I'll solo you.
Okay, solo me so it's big.
There we go.
Okay, I'm going to turn the lights on so you can see the outside. So here's the outside of the chair. I am covering it with these leaves. It goes. I can't turn it because it's plugged in, but it goes all the way around there. And when I'm done, it's going to have leaves that go all the way up to the top. And so here's the inside. And so inside, what I've got is I've got these lights. It's got foliage in here. I don't know if you can see this real well, but I've put flowers and stuff on there, and it's got a light. So this light, these LED lights, will
where's
change.
the tubers? We need some tubers.
The what?
The LED
tubers.
Lights. Oh, so hang on, let me turn the light off. So and I have on the inside, I have a couple different lights. They're these what they call rain lights that kind of go in a straight line, and then I got flickering lights that I can control. So they have different patterns.
That's cool.
So
sit down. Somebody prone to having what do you call it? Fits.
Oh yeah,
seizures. Fits.
Epilepsy.
Yeah, one of these is real crazy. It's got 8 different settings for the lights on the inside.
That's pretty
cool. That's the chair. So that's my pod chair.
So as long as it does.
As long as it does what?
As long as it doesn't become aware.
Yeah. The pod chair.
Yeah, we read Barry's comments about it.
This is the chair in your office, and does your wife know about it? Yes, she does. She was there, and she's seen all the Amazon receipt of lights and different. It's got speakers in it too. They're unplugged though right now.
Did your porch pirate experiences lose you any of asset that was coming to you for this chair?
Yes, these lights right here. I don't know if you can see them. Hang on, I'm having trouble aiming. These rain lights. The first ones got stolen off my porch.
Dang.
Amazon, the Amazon driver literally just leaned them against my front door. It wasn't a big package, but they take photos of the package, and the photo was from the street. And so when I called Amazon and complained, I said, I've told you guys not to put it against my front door, to put it behind a pillar because I have 2 brick columns. Yeah. And you can clearly see this from the street. And I live down the street from a school. And so the kids walk past my house every day at 3:00. So any one of them could have seen it from the street and just ran up and grabbed it. Amazon was real good about replacing them though. So somebody got a free set of lights.
Well,
but they did replace them.
That is good.
I've modified them. They were originally in these acrylic tubes, and I took the tubes off, and I just have the string of LEDs. But anyway, yeah, this is something that I did. There's a museum downtown that has one in their gift shop that is similar. It's a little more elaborate in some ways. In some ways, it's not as elaborate. And I sat in it, and Ellis has sat in it.
Oh yeah.
And I thought theirs was pretty cool. Mine, I think, has more lights in it. But it's got speakers. Theirs plays like ambient noises of like nature. And mine is made so I can hook up my phone to it and play music over the speakers.
That sort of notion, I like that idea that you might have something that is like a isolation tank of some kind. That's fun.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Not the reverse of an
I made it
isolation
as
tank.
kind of a art project.
Dave asked you a question. Ask it again, Dave.
It's kind of the reverse of an isolation tank, though, isn't it?
I can't hear him. What did he say?
He says it's kind of the reverse of an isolation tank, isn't it?
Yes, I am calling it my sensory enhancement chamber versus enhancement versus sensory deprivation.
Yeah.
Barry says total cost of ownership so far. The wicker chair that it's based on was about $300. Let's see, I've got the leaves on the outside were about $10. I've probably got another 30 in lights. The speakers were 15. Um, let's see, what else do I have? I bought some of these
What about
flowers. I bought
labor?
at like
Labor.
yeah, I bought it at a thrift store. So it's not really. I think I'm under $400 in it still.
Yeah, what's
It's
your
it
time
lay
worth?
lay yeah labor is taking a while. The inside went pretty quick. The outside's taking me a while to put the leaves on it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm hot gluing those leaves on, and I'll get a bug to work on it, and then I'll work on it until I burn myself. Every time I've worked on it, I burn myself. Except
Yeah.
I did a little bit yesterday. I'm getting better. I didn't burn myself yesterday. A week or so ago, I did it, and I managed to hot glue a leaf to my finger. And when I pulled it off, I burned it on my other finger. And I pulled the leaf off. I managed to get the leaf off me, but all the hot glue stayed on my fingers. And it burned pretty good. It didn't blister up, but only because I got burn gel on it pretty quick.
That
I,
that 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 stuff that is in the family of super glue, that gorilla glue, man, you lose your nerves just the moment that stuff touches you.
I've considered doing something like that. For the foliage inside, I've had a lot of trouble getting it to stick. I ended up buying floral wire and just wiring it in a lot of it,
Hmm.
just because it's just the easiest and least frustrating.
Yeah.
The chair's cool. I sit in it and just kind of chill
I,
out.
I put Dave on solo layout. What's up with you, Dave? Oh,
Just hanging out, looking at the pod chair.
Can you hear Dave? I can't hear Dave at all.
You can't hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you. No, as a matter of fact, you sound pretty good. I just now removed you, but put you right back in. I thought I was giving you a solo layout. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna leave and
out.
see. Oh, there you are. I can hear Dave.
Yeah.
I've been reading a book actually.
What have you been
Hear
reading,
about it.
Dave?
Well, I went to the North Texas Con about a month ago, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up a book from the Vanguard booth,
Oh, okay.
and the book I picked up. Can you guys hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay. The book I picked up was The Art of Neil Adams. Have you guys
Ooh.
seen this book?
No, I'd like to.
Are you gonna hold it up?
I won't hold it. Well, here, at least I can hold it up.
Well, I don't think. Have you got a? Oh, look at that! Why haven't you been doing this? All right. Wow, look at that.
What do you got, a sock over the camera?
What are you worried about, doxing yourself or what?
So I guess you guys saw the cover of the book, right?
Yeah, saw it real quick.
Yeah. No, but okay. So I got this book, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I went by Neil Adams, and he had the book. And if you bought the book from Neil Adams, it was $100, and he would sign it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't going to spend $100 for this book and have Neil Adams sign it. So I went right around the corner to the Vanguard booth. They had the same book. The book's got like a $25 cover price, right? Well,
Right.
Vanguard, he gave me 5 off. I got it for $20, not signed. But is the autograph worth $80 to me for Neil Adams' autograph?
No.
The answer is no. He used to sign stuff for free. I've got plenty of stuff signed from free by him, right?
Yes.
But anyways, I ended up picking up the book. It's kind of an oversized magazine, basically. It's a square-bound magazine-sized book. It's got work in it from like early Batman, all the way through his continuity stuff, his movie poster work, his Conan covers, stuff he did for Avengers and X-Men. And it shows how at the beginning it shows how he did a lot of photo reference. Him and his wife would take photos of themselves, and he would kind of put them in his strip work he was doing. And it's kind of an interesting book, but the drawback for me is he did all the text, and his writing he talks about. I don't know. It would have benefited from having somebody else write it. I think
he could have ruled the world if he was a better writer. Yeah, you're right. He thought of concepts like skate man. Nobody.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
What?
Dave.
yeah.
Barry is asking. Barry says the original volume of that Adams book came out in '79. Andy asked, "Does it have any Atomic Mouse art or stories?
No
Is it from?
Atomic Mouse.
No atomic.
Is that book from '75, or is there anything newer than that in there?
This book is not from '75. This book is. I'm looking right now.
Sounds like a total retrospective.
This book here says first edition, August 2010.
Okay, so it's a later volume of that same kind of thing, apparently. Well,
I don't think
Neil Ad-
Vanguard. I don't think Vanguard was around in '75 anyway.
No, but there was a Neil Adams book because I remember seeing ads for it, because um, it had his mouse standing between Superman and I think it was the Hulk. It had the Marvel characters on one side, the DC on the other, and that Atomic Mouse was in the other, like kind of holding them apart.
Okay.
Barry says the original volumes were self-published and in trade paperback.
Okay. All right.
But
this book's got like his comic strip work in it, some Bat Masterson, some Buck Rogers, but it just basically each page has an example of a few comic strips, a couple panels, and then the text pieces end up being like maybe one or two paragraphs where he kind of explains what he was doing, talks about Ben Casey a little bit, then it goes to his comic book work. And Ellis is right. Some of his comic book stuff that he came up with for continuity were just unbelievable. And then he talks about how in the future he thinks they're going to make movies of some of this stuff. And I'm like, really?
He wishes, yeah. That is being IP drunk, thinking that because you own it, maybe there's a chance somebody else wants to do something with it.
Yeah,
that sort of thing catches fire without even making an effort. People will like it so much. That's like Bone. I mean, people saw that, they said, "Oh, give me more of that," or The Rocketeer. That sort of thing. That is a pitch in itself that you don't have to make hardly any effort, and all of a sudden, you've got a million people that are a fan of it, which is, it just shows you, just keep amping up your level of your own self-awareness of what people like and what you like. Just filter yourself a little bit if you want to be a content creator and try to do your best. As I sit here and try to copy Joe Cuba.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but Bone and Rocketeer, those properties are something else compared to what the things he's got. Like he's got this megalith that he talks about. He's got Miss Mystic, some other continuity things, Crazy Man.
Yeah.
This
Man.
This one thing called Shaman, that some kind of guy riding a bull. He talks it up like that's going to be day. You'd have to read this book. It's just kind of strange. There are some really nice images in here. He's got some images that look like something out of an old, like 60s Disney looking stuff, like where he designed like this Planet Krypton ride at some amusement park that never happened.
Concept art for stuff. Yeah.
He's done a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of nice looking, like pencil work, like color pencil work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some of the stuff in here is just unbelievable of what he thinks is going to come of it someday. This book came out in 2010. Well, here it's been 10 years, and none of this has seen the light of day yet.
Yeah.
I kind of think none of it ever will.
Barry says all that art and story came out from Pacific Comics in the very early 80s. That's true, and some of it came out during the boom of the 90s. Neil Adams was publishing a lot of this stuff, like Monolith, and I think Skate Man came out, and the big one I remember was Ms. Mystic that he did. It was kind of environmental. Yeah, it was from Continuity. Continuity is Neil Adams' company, his studio that
Right.
does. It's like an art studio in New York City. I have a book that is their portfolio that they use to get work. It's kind of a binder, like kind of a loose leaf binder thing that they were selling for a while.
Hmm.
And I don't think he's a guy that comes up with good concepts necessarily. But he's a guy that tries to sell them. That was his
Hmm.
thing.
Big time.
Yeah,
This
but
And he was great
book,
for having a stable of good artists that he trained up in his look. He had some
sure.
very talented people. Yeah.
I kind of feel like this book should be about twice as thick, focus more on the Marvel DC stuff, and the continuity stuff and the comic strip stuff or the newspaper strip stuff could be used a little bit less and really focus more on the Marvel and the DC, and then also have a ghost writer, have somebody write it for him. He actually mentions his son and daughter in here, and the way he references them is almost like the reader has met these people and is good friends with them. Kind of, it's
Yeah.
really strangely written.
Well, I've met his son. His son does a lot of conventions.
Yeah, his son supposedly goes by the name Spida.
Yeah, Spider Adams.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's. I forget what he does. He has kind of a weird style. I forget. It seems like it's more like anime looking or something.
yeah. The book is nice, but I don't know. It could have been a lot more to it. I feel like in the text pieces, the one or two paragraphs per page of what he's talking about is really fluffy stuff. But there's some nice images in it.
Neil Adams, and he kind of came into comics that weird time because when he broke into comics, he was the first person that broke into comics in like 10 years or 15 years or something. That comics was just full of artists and it didn't really need anybody till he came along. And I like his work. There's something about it that I don't that keeps me from just loving it. I can't figure out what it is because he's definitely good. And one of my favorite artists, John Byrne, is a big Neil Adams, devotee, I guess you would say. But there's something about his work that I don't care for. I think it's a little too loose for my personal taste. Um, and I think as a comic creator, I don't think he was ever committed to the idea of doing a comic book like for example like a John Byrne or Jack Kirby or something who would work on one strip for a long or one book for a long time, and so he didn't have a big volume of work. Now he
Yeah.
has some great stuff,
Oh yeah. My
but
my favorite Neil Adams was Dead Man. But what did he do it for? 2 issues or something like that?
no, he did it. He did quite a few. I've got a book that's the hardcover reprint of Dead Man,
I
Yeah.
thought it
If
was
I
and
only
if
it's
I
about
could think
10 or
of
15
one
issues.
thing, what's that?
yeah,
About 10 or 15 issues, maybe.
Oh
yeah, it's
really?
over. Yeah, it's over 12.
It was probably his best concept, which I'm sure it was borrowing from something that had gone before. But
I
the
think.
idea of jumping in and out of a skin, a new body, was kind of fun. I liked it.
Yeah.
It most reminded me in terms of like what came forward, and maybe they made a movie somewhat like it was. What's the one with the ugly guy that Sam Raimi directed? Dark Man.
Oh, Dark Man.
Even
Yeah.
though he's not jumping in and out of skins, he's just a master of disguise,
Yeah, he can put
basically.
them. He makes those masks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Final thoughts on the book, though. His pencil work and his color marker slash color pencil images in it, much nicer than his paint. He's got some images that he has in there that where he paints things, and he's
yeah.
proud of them the way he talks, but I don't think they're up to snuff with like the today's painted comics. Of course,
No, he.
they are older, but like he can't paint like Alex Ross paints. I mean,
No, no,
let's
no.
be real here.
He's a guy that was trained to do advertising art.
Right.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff he did. His he went. Well, I don't know where he was. He went to school. He may have been self-taught, but
No,
his artist.
he went to the illustration. There's something illustration academy, and actually he wanted to take. It's in this book. I didn't write it down or anything, but he went to this illustration academy, and he wanted to be in the he wanted to get into the figure drawing or whatever, and all those classes were taken up, so he had to go into the fashion.
Oh yeah.
He took a bunch of fashion classes, fashion
Yeah.
illustration classes.
Well, that makes sense because he and having his company, the work that he does always looks like advertising art to me. Especially from that era,
Well,
from the late
he
'60s.
was mainly a storyboard artist, which is a good gig. If you're good at it, you'll never look up from your board. The guy that quit it because they were just basically giving him too much money, I guess. But he, what's his name? I listen to his podcast all the time. Unnatural Talent. Brubaker, not the Brubaker that writes.
No, not the writer. I know who you're talking. I know who you're talking about.
His name is Brubaker, and he used to work storyboards. Could have stayed at it for the rest of his life, and probably lived just fine in L.A. He would have made enough money to get by that. But you got to go with what you really want to do. I mean, if you're sitting there unhappy and working your butt off, so hey, is this a joke by Barry?
What did he say?
The movie Ghost with Swayze really ripped off Dead Man.
Oh, really?
Well, now, which came first, though, Ghost or Dead Man?
Oh, Dead Man,
Dead
for
Man
sure.
70s, isn't it?
Yeah, Dead Man's for the '70s. Ghost was
maybe,
the '80s.
Maybe
dude.
so. I mean, I haven't seen Ghost. Does he enter other people and take over?
No, I don't think. Does he? I don't think so. Does he?
I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe he does. I don't remember.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
There's something like that.
I finally saw Swayze's Dirty Dancing about 5-6 years ago, and
you chose the wrong movie.
Yeah, it's memorable enough,
No, its best movie's Roadhouse, man.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think I've only seen half of that. I'll make a point of seeing Roadhouse this week.
I think Roadhouse is on Prime.
Okay, cool.
Oh, Barry says yes. He entered others and takes them over.
Okay.
So apparently Barry knows more about ghosts than we do.
It seems like that one scene. Is it Whoopi Goldberg that's in the movie?
Yeah.
With Demi Moore?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he does get in her body. Then he talks to Demi Moore through Whoopi Goldberg. I think. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Now I really don't want to see it.
Oh, Barry says Dead Man was in late '60s.
Okay. What? What are you talking about? Late '60s? Oh, Dead Man. Okay.
Dead Man.
I'm still thinking of Dark Man. What am I thinking of? Yeah.
Not.
It's like.
Hey,
what?
Dark Man was pretty good.
Yeah.
Dark Man was because, as I understand it, was because Raimi couldn't get the rights to the Shadow.
That's interesting. He is very much the Shadow, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, for sure, but not enough to be sued.
Yeah. Oh no. He definitely stepped off in a totally different direction. And Raimi, maybe Doctor Strange, maybe the guy who directs that, the next one.
Okay, Barry said Charles Brubaker is a storyboard artist, and Dead Man was in Strange Adventures. That's right, he was.
Jason Brubaker, though, is who I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah. I've seen that book, Unnatural Talent. I think I have the audiobook.
I have the audiobook in the big the big soft cover paperback. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's good, but I think as he addresses later on his YouTube stuff, see this big book? About half of it is invalid because basically we move along too quickly. Much of what he's going to say was good during the season,
Oh yeah. Well, things change.
Yeah.
Definitely, things change.
Hey, speaking of Strange Adventures, there's a new Strange Adventures that just started, written by Tom King. Looks pretty
Now,
good.
you're talking about the weird kids with the psychic girl and all that?
No, it's The Strange Adventures with I'm trying to think of the character's name. It's a DC character. He's God, the name's escaping me right now.
Yeah, that happens once you get
on the spot.
Yeah.
Hey, Ellis.
Yeah.
Barry says there is a new DC hardcover war collection coming out in the fall. If we last that long.
Yeah.
I don't worry about us lasting that long. I worry about DC Comics lasting that long.
Yeah. They've been doing some evolving. Well, all of them do. I mean, we can make fun of and second guess what they should be doing, but right now that was it's like telling somebody how they ought to survive at being a newspaper publisher. There's certain things like move along. I think the Comixology, buy your digital copy, is obviously also stressed bookstores. There's a lot.
Well, let me say this. I went by my comic shop the other day on Thursday on the way home. I stopped there, and he is he's sitting at a table, and he will go in the store and get your books and bring them to him, and it was like curbside service basically.
What? Really?
Yeah. What are they doing at your store? Are they allowing people to go in the store?
My store is still open for business.
I bet it's not now. When did you go there last?
As of when are you talking about? I called them yesterday. They're still open for business.
Because the governor supposedly, or the mayor, shut down everything in Oklahoma. Are they in Oklahoma City or in Edmond?
No, they're in Oklahoma City.
Am I going to get shot for ignoring somebody's order to go back to your house?
You might. Hey, I heard a story about there was a coronavirus positive person who was ordered to their house, and the sheriff ordered. This wasn't in Oklahoma, but the sheriff ordered deputies to stand outside their house and make sure they didn't leave.
Huh.
So the question came up: what would they do if he tried to leave?
Yeah.
Would they shoot him? Would they arrest him?
No, I think right now it's just isn't it called like some kind of social something or other fine?
No. Places are shut down, dude.
No, I hear I'm talking about the guy that doesn't leave his house. I heard something about if you don't do what they say, you can get some kind of social something fine, right?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what. No, this guy had deputies outside his house. This is not in Oklahoma, though. Okay. Yeah.
Probably California.
Hey, Barry says that character is Adam Strange. Strange Adventures, Adam Strange, of course. But Mitch Gerard's and Tom King. Mitch Gerard's art for that looks really good. That'll be something to look for in a collected edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to my Carmine Infantino for all my Adam Strange art. I don't know if I can get used to anybody else doing it. Carmine Infantino. There was a guy with
Barry said it was in Arkansas. Plenty of people get asked to stay in their home in Arkansas. He tested positive. So I got to tell you all a story about my in-laws. Okay. My in-laws on Monday, I think it was Monday, drove from Arkansas through Oklahoma to Amarillo, and they're in Amarillo. And, the governor of Oklahoma today said anybody coming back from spring break that left the state, they want them to quarantine for 14 days. So my in-laws are at some point next week are going to be traveling back through and go to Arkansas. So,
Well, coming from the midst of all that spring break stuff they were showing, it made me laugh. Kids saying, when you're a kid, you want to ignore everybody that tells you how to do anything.
Right, especially on spring break.
Yeah, especially on spring break. And So
Well,
those people out there saying, okay, they're probably already had it and got over it,
well, maybe not. But well, they're saying that there are people that have it that don't even know they get it. Their case is so mild, but they can still
Yeah,
spread it.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the
I think
deal.
you got to keep your fingers crossed for a case like that.
Well, if you're going to get it, that's how you want it for sure.
Right.
You don't want to be the guy that died a day after you're diagnosed.
Yeah, well, yeah. The
No,
problem is the diagnoses are taking so long to get that I think if somebody has something looks like the flu, you have to kind of consider that they may have it,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Well, yeah. I
At the
mean, you automatically know when you start running a fever, right? I mean,
Yeah, you shouldn't.
I know.
Yeah, if you have a fever, you shouldn't be around other people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of the rule of thumb at my work. If you have a
I,
fever, those guys don't come to work.
I was at Half Price Books before they closed.
Uh huh.
It was last Sunday. They had the 50% off day, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really busy, of course, because it's 50% off. They had like maybe 2 or 3 check stands going. They had people waiting in line to get checked out, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was this elderly lady who I think was using a walker, if I'm not mistaken, and she looked like she was in her high 80s, maybe 90, and she was coughing her ass off.
Yeah, she's dead now.
Well, well, it's possible, but what I was thinking was, okay, everybody was giving her like a big, lot of room, right?
Right.
Big
Yeah.
berth of clearance, right? Myself included, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
everybody around her was looking at her with the side eye like she's got it, which she may or may not have had it. But my question is who the hell lets her out of the house to go to the store to get a damn book?
Well, that just makes me think she must be the loneliest person on earth. Probably she just has
It's
got to get out, even though she's that elderly, and still has to get out. You know.
Yeah. No book is worth that. Besides, she's dead now. It's okay.
Yep. But now the whole store is infected, and half those people probably walked into Sprouts, and they've all got it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't go. Well, Half Price Books is closed now.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I get that, but the damage is done.
Yeah.
Oh sure. Well, but the virus will. I mean, it's the damage is done as far as spreading it, but the virus will. Well, I'm sure they'll go in and clean it off real good. They'll scrub all those
right.
books.
Yeah, right.
I think after the quarantine is over and they announce we're free, I'm still not going anywhere for about a month. Just to see for the rebound.
I don't
Well,
see
it
any.
can live on surfaces for quite a while and cardboard for like 24 hours. So if you get a package from anybody in the mail, you're supposed to leave your package out in the garage and not touch it.
Really.
Barry says, "Of course, I scored that Morrison X-Men collection. Cough, cough, sniff, sniff."
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, that Morrison. Hey, Barry, I got a question for you. That I saw that Morrison collection sitting, but they had it upright. Was it damaged? Because I thought they were going to damage the spine the way they had it stored in their case. Is it damaged? We'll
What do
see
you
if
mean
Barry
what do you mean it
answers.
was upright? What does that mean, upright?
It was leaned against something, and
Oh,
so
okay.
this it wasn't straight up and down again in books. It was kind
Yeah.
of leaning back,
Yeah.
and those are so thick, those omnibuses, that it looked like it was kind of bending the spine a little bit. And
Yeah, that will sag after a while.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they had it in there. That's some pretty good stuff, though. That's a lot of quietly stuff.
Quietly or quietly?
It's quietly, but it's probably less than 50% though, right?
Oh, sure. He would, yeah, but he had some good stuff in there.
Oh yeah, it's a great run.
Did he answer?
Yes.
Did Barry ever get around to answering?
No, he hadn't answered. Oops. He's typing out an answer as we speak, maybe. But yeah, I'm with you, Dave. I bought some. We went to the Chinese grocery store today.
Super Cow win. Shout out.
Yeah, and I bought.
You went to the Chinese grocery store today.
Yes.
You're talking about being socially distancing in all these other cases, but you decide, I need to go to the Chinese restaurant. Okay.
No. Grocery store. Grocery
Okay.
store. And I didn't get near anybody. And what we've been doing is when we go out, I have a sanitizer in my hand. We go to the car. We sanitize our hands before we get in the car. I mean, you take your chances for sure. But I got to get groceries.
Yeah.
So Barry said no. This copy was new. It just come in. It was in the buying section and not in the comics section. The one you saw was first printing. I got the second print. It cost me $40 with tax.
Deal.
Wow.
That's a great deal.
Sold. I want one.
Score.
That's a great deal. That's I bought that X-Men omnibus, the Uncanny X-Men omnibus #1. It was more than that because I got it on Monday. They had there was another X-Men omnibus, a later one that I was considered getting down on the Southside store that was even cheaper, but I didn't get it, and I never went back to the thing. No, I went back and I bought an X-Men Essential I was missing. I have the X-Men Essentials up to Volume 8. I'm currently reading those. I'm on Volume 4, which was about when I stopped reading when I was a kid. So the rest of that stuff will be new. Hey, Ellis, we've been going for about an hour.
Hour and 11 minutes and 15 seconds. Yeah, sounds like that's a good show, right?
That's a good show.
Okay, well, we will end it. Dave, final thoughts?
Thanks for having me on, Ellis. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, you bet. And Scott, you want to do anything like your stick?
Well, thanks to everybody who is watching this. It seems like we've averaged 4 or 5 people watching this. Anybody that watches this after the fact, thank you for watching this. It may be a sign of how bored everybody is being stuck in their house. If you have to go out, be smart, do social distancing, wash your hands. We will get through this. Right now, it's doing a lot of damage to the economy. I hope that everyone watching this comes through with their job intact and their health intact.
Hey, Barry, final thoughts?
he's behind. I don't know.
Yeah, he lags too much. We can't ask him. Well, Barry, it was good. Thanks for hanging out in the chat with us. And I'll end the broadcast right now.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, wait a
second.
Barry
says, dabba, I can't do it, like Daffy Duck. Da-da-da-da, that's all, folks. Oh, Porky Pig, I mean. That's all, folks.
All right. Well, that'll be it. We'll still be in Skype after I end it.